Assalamu alaikum, girls. This is your second lesson on the chapter on networks. Chapter networks is chapter 4 out of the 4 chapters that you are doing in term 1, and this will be your last chapter before the end of term exam. So let's get into this lesson and see what are the objectives we are trying to cover today. Today we need to try to understand how to set up and configure a small network, how we will define what is internet and intranet, what are the different types of networks we have based on the size, and how we can use different computers to access the internet. So check out the success criteria here and aim to see what you can achieve today. You need to be able to at least list the differences between internet and intranet, and as advanced goal you can try to compare between the various kinds of networks based on their size. An extension task will be to try to set up and configure a small computer network yourself. As a starter, I have a past paper fill in the blanks question for you. Before we do today's lesson, we will try to complete it and I will not tell you the answers. At the end of the lesson, I will share the answers and then you must be able to get it right at the end. So let's try to see what is the device used to connect computers together to form a LAN. What is the network with restricted access? What can allow network computers to connect to the internet? And what is the word for a wireless local area network? So take a moment to pause here and think which of these 5 words can fill up these blanks. We will come back to this again at the end of the lesson. The first topic we are trying to cover today is how we can set up a small network from scratch. Last lesson we already learned about router, some network devices, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth and so on. How do we put all that information together to set up a network? The first thing you need when you want to set up a network in your house, for example, is that you must have an account with an ISP. An ISP is the Internet Service Provider, which in Qatar we have Ooredoo and Vodafone. They help you to receive internet connection in your location. So if you've rented a new office or you've bought a new house, you will need to first set up an account with the ISP. Then you need to set up a router which will connect your LAN to the internet. Then you need to have some switch or hub which will connect all the network devices together using cables. Then you will need a lot of cables for the different desktops you have in your house. You can also have a firewall to keep your network secure from external threats. You might need a server if you are running an office where you can use to manage network functionalities such as network security, file storage, sharing resources like printers and so on. You will need to set up a web browser that will help you to browse the internet. You will also need an email to send email messages including attachments to others. And optionally, you can also set up some form of security including antivirus or anti-spyware software that will protect your computer from external threats. Now that we've set up a small network, let's try to understand what is internet, what is intranet, what is its definition, what are the differences between them, and what is the purpose of each of them. An internet is your publicly available internet that is available to all users, whereas intranet is a private internet within one organization alone. The internet is the network of all the networks in the world, whereas intranet is generally tending to be policed or managed by a single organization. So for example, inside the school we have the intranet setup which can be accessed only by the people inside the school. Or if you are running an office, you would have an intranet set up within the organization or office so that files can be shared and resources can be shared within the intranet. The internet is global and has more information than the intranet, and it can also be accessed from anywhere as long as you have an internet connection. The intranet is set up within an organization to have an extra layer of security, and the data found is generally more reliable or relevant because on the intranet only the people who have access to it can post content, so the data will be more reliable, whereas on internet you know that sometimes the data you find is not reliable. Also, the intranet can be accessed only from within the company or organization that owns it. So, for example, some of your parents who are working in Uridu or the ministry, when the offices were shut down during lockdown, you might have noticed that they were back at home and they were connecting to the intranet of their office and working on the computer there. Now, if we think of what are their uses, the internet, as you know, is to view web pages, send or receive emails, share files, do video conferencing or voice conferencing over VoIP, play multiplayer games, stream content, do online shopping, online banking and so on. On the other hand, what are the uses of intranet? Intranet is used when you want to view internal web pages. So, if you have siblings studying in Qatar University, they have an internal intranet in Qatar University. The internal email and instant messaging can be done between participants of that organization or university, and internal documents can be shared as well. As you can see from this picture, the internet is global, anyone can connect to it. It is less reliable in terms of the data or information it has. The intranet is private, it is within an organization or school or university, and it can connect to the internet to get content, and this circle you see around it is the security layer, and this keeps your intranet more secure and private. We are now going to watch a video on the difference between internet and intranet to further solidify this concept.
Internet versus intranet. Internet. It is a global network which connects millions of computers. Intranet. It is a network that only connects computers of a specific group of people. Internet. The number of users is unlimited. Intranet. The number of users is limited. Internet. Information on the internet is open for all. Intranet. Information on the intranet can be accessed from the internet but is protected by password. Internet contains unlimited information from different sources. Intranet contains information relevant for a specific group of people.
Now let's go over a past paper question. The question is asking you to give 3 reasons why some companies have intranet. So when you think about it, the reason why some companies have intranet is that you can prevent employees accessing undesirable websites. So you would have had this experience in the ICT lab also, that the school has prevented access to certain undesirable websites. This was possible because we have an intranet within the school. Also, we can ensure that specific information is available which is specific to the needs of the users of that organization, and it makes sure that confidential messages stay within the company. Also, another example is when you are filling out Microsoft Forms assignment, you would have noticed that it allows you to write the form only if you are a member of the organization Al Arqam Academy, because you are part of the intranet. Another reason why companies have intranet is that there is less chance of the computers being hacked, because as you saw in the previous picture, there is a layer of security surrounding it. And what is this security? An extra layer of security that can be some antivirus software, blocking certain websites and so on. Now let's look at what are the types of networks based on their size.
Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about the different network types. And these network types depend on how large they are and how much of an area they cover geographically. Now, most people who have a basic knowledge of networking are familiar with terms such as LAN and WAN. But in addition to those, there are a few more network types that a lot of people are not familiar with. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. So let's first talk about a PAN. PAN stands for Personal Area Network. Now this is a type of network that is used on a personal level. It's a small network that is used for connecting devices such as smartphones, tablets, and laptops. And they connect to each other by using wireless technologies such as Bluetooth, infrared, and near-field communication, or NFC. But they can also connect by using a wired connection, such as a USB cable. PANs are generally used for transferring small files, such as music, photos, calendar appointments, and so on. And the next type of network is a LAN. Now LAN stands for Local Area Network. A local area network is a group of devices such as computers, servers, switches, and printers which are located in the same building, such as in an office or in a home. In other words, in close proximity to each other. The most common type of LAN is an Ethernet LAN, where two or more computers are connected to Ethernet cables using a switch. Now, a WLAN, or Wireless Local Area Network, is a local area network that uses wireless communication instead of wired communication. A wireless LAN is defined as having at least two devices that use wireless communication to form a local area network. A wireless LAN will typically have a Wi-Fi router or a wireless access point for wireless devices such as laptops, tablets, wireless desktops, and smartphones to communicate. So in simple terms, a wireless LAN is a LAN but without using cables. And finally, there's the Wide Area Network, or WAN. A WAN is the largest type of network. A WAN includes multiple LANs, CANs, and MANs. It's a network that spans over a large geographical area, such as a country, continent, or even the entire globe. A good example of a wide area network is the Internet.
The first type of network you have based on the size is the LAN, or the local area network. As you can see, a LAN is a network within a building or within one particular site. It may have a server and some workstations connected to it, and that's all. This is the simplest and smallest network. It is often a private network which can belong to an organization or a business, and because they are geographically small, they will usually use cables. You can see these yellow cables here, or some low power wireless connections, because you are within one building or one site. So for example, the network we have within the school is the school LAN, local area network. Local because it is inside one building or one site. The advantages of having a LAN over having standalone computers is that if you just have standalone computers which are not connected to each other at all, then you will not be able to share resources. LAN also makes it easy to communicate between users, and the network administrator can control and monitor all the aspects of the network. But a problem of having LAN instead of having single computers which are not connected to each other at all is that if there is a virus, the virus can easily spread to all the computers in the LAN. There can be printer queues, which means that many people can try to give a print command to the same printer and the printer can get queued up in its work. Or the slower access can happen to an external network, and there is an increased security risk because of the spread of viruses that makes it easy in a LAN. The second kind of network based on the size is a WAN, or a wide area network. It is a network that extends over a large area. You can make that out from the name, wide. It is often created by joining several LANs together. So the LAN of our school, the LAN of another school, the LAN of another company, the LAN of another ministry, all this come together and is linked together to form the WAN of Qatar, which is the wide area network. These are geographically spread over large areas, and links between computers are over long distances. So they might use very exotic good connection technologies. An example is optical fiber cable or glass cable, satellite radio links, microwave radio links, and so on. So this is an example of the network that you have over countries or continents or the whole world. The third kind of network type that we discussed based on the size is the WLAN or the wireless LAN. Do not confuse WLAN with WAN, which is the wide area network. WLAN is just the wireless version of LAN, wireless local area network. So wireless LAN is also within one building or one site. Just the difference is that in LAN, local area network, you saw that the connection was completely via cables. See the yellow diagram here? Whereas wireless LAN, the connection is completely wireless. So you will have some routers. Routers are called access points here, and these will ensure that all the computers get connected to the network of the LAN. As you can see written here, a WLAN is a LAN that uses radio signals or Wi-Fi to connect computers instead of cables, and the devices called APs or access points are connected to the wired network at fixed location so that you get enough Wi-Fi signal here, enough Wi-Fi signal here, and so on. This is much more convenient to use instead of having long wires across all the building connecting all the devices. So this could be an example of what you use at home. You will have a wireless hub or a switch that will provide wireless internet or Wi-Fi for all the devices that you have in your house, including all your smartphones, your laptops, tablets, and so on. So this is wireless LAN, which is again LAN within the same building or site, but it is wireless. What is the advantage of having a WLAN? You can share resources from anywhere as long as you are within range of the access point. There is the safety improvement because there is no cabling, so there is no tripping hazard. You cannot fall over the cables. There is an increased flexibility for the users to move around. So because you have a wireless LAN at home, you are able to move your tablet around the home and still get internet wherever you are. Adding new devices becomes easy because you just have to connect your wireless LAN via username and password. But the disadvantage is that anyone with a wireless LAN enabled laptop can access your network if they have access to your password. There can be interference problems. You would have experienced this in your home where you have a wireless router but you don't get the same signal in all your rooms, or if there are some beams or metal beams in between, the signal will be very low. And because it is not wired, the data transfer is also much slower than having a normal wired LAN. The last thing we are going to discuss today is what are the advantages and disadvantages of using different devices to access the internet. Here I have 4 devices and we are going to compare their advantage and disadvantage in terms of accessing the internet. Please note that in chapter 1 we already did a comparison between the different types of computers, but that was a general comparison on their users' advantage and disadvantage. The table here is in specific how to compare these computers for accessing the internet only. So for example, a laptop computer to access the internet is more portable, so you can move around while you are connected to the internet, and it has a bigger screen compared to tablets and phones, but the touchpad may be difficult to navigate web pages and the processor not very fast. A desktop will give you stable internet connection because it is wired, and input devices will make pointing easier for you, but the problem is that it has to be connected at all times and it is not portable. Both tablets and smartphones are more portable than laptops and desktops. However, Smartphones are more easy to carry around and people might have it with them all the time, and also smartphones can connect to phone networks via 4G or 5G. But the issue with tablet and smartphone is that their signal strength will depend on the location you are in, and it is smaller display screen if you need to do some lot of typing or assignments and so on, and not all websites will be supported to be viewed on mobiles and tablets, and they have much limited battery life. To end for today, I have a past paper question for you, and we will try to solve this together. There is a school that has a cabled LAN and the head teacher wants to replace it with a wireless LAN. We have to explain the differences between a cabled LAN and a wireless LAN, giving 2 advantages and 2 disadvantages of having a wireless LAN. The main difference between a cabled LAN and a wireless LAN is that a cabled LAN will use cables to transmit data, whereas wireless LAN will use wireless technology to transmit the data. Advantage of wireless LAN is that it is cheaper because you need less cabling. You only have to set up one wireless router and you can add new devices easily. And disadvantage of wireless LAN is that the signal strength is weaker, the data transmission rate will be slower, the area of the network is limited according to the signal, and it is easier to hack into. Also, physical obstacles can interfere with it. Now let's go back to the question we started with at our starter. What is the device used to connect computers together to form a LAN? Yes, it will be a hub or a switch. In this we have hub given, so the answer is hub. A network with a restricted access is called a intranet. Dash can allow network computers to connect to the internet, a proxy server, and a wireless local area network stands for WLAN, WLAN. That's all for today, girls. Hope you have a good week ahead of you. You will have a homework on a Microsoft Forms assignment that will be uploaded on your Teams. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.